In the next 10 minutes, you are going to have NemoClaw running on your own cloud server, connected to Claude or OpenAI, and with Telegram already wired in. Nvidia's own docs say this is a one-line install. I'm just going to be straight with you. That's not quite the reality. There are a few extra steps, especially when you're setting this up on a cloud server. But I've done all the hard work for you. I'm going to walk you through every single step, and if you follow along, you will be up and running in about 10 minutes. In this video, we are setting this up on a Hostinger VPS. I chose that because most of us want this running 24/7 without leaving a laptop on. And if you're watching this and want a local setup instead on Mac or Windows, just leave your comment below this video and I'll create a separate video on that. Let me give you a 60-second overview of what we are building so nothing feels confusing when we get into it. OpenClaw is the AI agent. It's the thing you actually chat with. Think of it like a personal assistant that lives on your server, connects to Claude or ChatGPT, and can also talk to your Telegram, your email, basically any app you give it access to. NemoClaw is the OpenClaw plugin for Nvidia OpenShell. What that means in plain English is NemoClaw takes OpenClaw and runs it inside a secure, isolated container. Every network call, every file access, every AI request, all of it goes through a security layer that you control. Your API keys never touch the inside of the container. And here's what we are going to set up today, step by step. 1. Provision a Hostinger VPS and open the firewall. 2. Install Docker, OpenShell, and NemoClaw. 3. Set up Caddy so that we get a clean HTTP address without no port number in the URL. 4. Connect OpenAI or Claude as the AI using OpenShell's secure provider system. That's it. So just to call out, you can spin up NemoClaw through Nvidia's platform. You can click on Try It Now. And here you can select your VM size. But if we look at CPU, with 8 gigs of RAM and 2 vCPUs, it costs $0.06 per hour, which comes out to be around $43 per month. Whereas we can get a VM with a similar configuration on Hostinger for around $10. And for that reason, I'll go ahead with Hostinger. Okay, first things first, let's get the server. We need to set up the VPS that has Docker Manager already installed. You can find the link in the description. Once you click that, you will see this page. You need to scroll down, and I would suggest you to choose KVM2. If you want to do a lot of meaningful work, select your period, scroll down, and make sure Docker is selected. Click on Continue and complete the payment. Then set up a root password, click on Next, and finish the setup. Then click on Manage VPS, and once it's ready, you will see this dashboard. Another thing we need to do is grab the free Nvidia API key. We will need that in the setup. So you can head over to build.nvidia.com, create your free account, then click on your profile, then click on API keys, and generate a new API key from here, and save it at a safe place. I've created this detailed setup guide that you can find in my free school community, and it contains all the commands and all the steps that we are going to execute in this video. You can find the link in the description. Now to get started, first of all, we need access to our VPS, Nvidia API key, and Anthropic or OpenAI API key, if we want to use those models. Then we need access to our Hostinger VPS terminal. So we can go to this dashboard and click on terminal. And we are in. Now, if it asks you for the password, you can enter the username as root and enter the password that you used while creating the VPS. Next, we need to set up the firewall. So Hostinger will drop all the incoming traffic by default. And we need to add 2 rules to allow traffic on port 80 and port 443 on our VPS. To do that, you need to click on Security, then click on Firewall, then click on Create Firewall, give it a name, let's say NemoClaw Firewall. Let's create it, click on Edit, and here we need to add 2 rules. First one is for the protocol TCP and port 80. Source as anywhere, click on Add rule, and another rule for TCP and port 443, and source as anywhere. Once this is done, we need to go one step back and enable this firewall. Let's activate it. Now let's click on these 3 dots and again click on Edit, and then we need to click on Synchronize so that these changes are applied. And now let's go back to the overview. Now next step is installing NemoClaw. So first of all, we need to install the Docker. So let's copy all of these commands, go back, paste, and run. So it has prompted for the existing SSHD config. I'll stay on the local version. All right, this is done. Next, we need to execute these commands in the VPS. Let's copy these, go back, paste, and run. This is installing OpenShell. Next, we need to install NemoClaw. Let's copy all of these, Go back, paste, and run. Now it's asking for the sandbox name. Let's give NemoClaw-sandbox. Our OpenClaw will be installed and will run inside this sandbox. When the install finishes, the wizard starts by itself and it's going to ask you two things. First is this Nvidia API key. This is the one that we created some time back. So you need to copy that, paste it over here. And now it's asking for which cloud model to configure. Now for now, I'll just go ahead with Nemotron, but in just a few minutes, I'll switch it to OpenAI. Let's enter. Second thing it will ask is policy presets. So these are the services your AI is allowed to connect to. The wizard suggests PyPI and NPM. Those are just package managers that OpenClaw needs. I'll select list, and along with PyPI, NPM, I will add Slack and Telegram. So this will allow the traffic to Telegram. Enter. Now the wizard is building the sandbox. When it finishes, you will see a summary screen like this. And that's our signal to move on. Now let's move on to the next step in our guide. After installing NemoClaw, we need to fix a couple of paths because NemoClaw and OpenShell may not be found in new terminal sessions. So we need to run this once to fix all of those issues. Just copy these, go back and paste. Next, we need to complete the setup wizard. So this is already done, but in case if the previous commands did not ask you for the sandbox name and Nvidia API key, etc., then you can run NemoClaw on board. And then it will ask you the sandbox name, Nvidia API key, and policy presets. In our case, we are skipping all of that because it's already done. So this is where we are right now. The traffic will flow from internet, let's say our OpenClaw UI or Telegram or other apps. It will hit the Hostinger firewall, and we have opened the ports 80 and 443. Firewall will allow the traffic to our Hostinger VPS. Inside the VPS, we now have our OpenShell sandbox running, which is this green box. Inside that OpenShell sandbox, we have the policy engine and the privacy router. And we also have OpenClaw gateway. All the communication to and from this OpenClaw will happen through this policy engine and privacy router. All right, so next, we need to get our gateway token so that we can access our OpenClaw UI. To do that, first we need to get into our sandbox. So copy this first command, go back, paste, and run. Now, as you can see, we have switched inside the sandbox now. Next, copy this second command, go back and run. And this will give you the token of your OpenClaw instance. Just save it at a safe place. And then we can exit from our sandbox. Just type exit. And now again, we are out of sandbox. Now, next step is setting up Caddy. Caddy is what gives you a clean, secure web address. Instead of typing your server's IP address and then :port to access your OpenClaw instance, we will access it using a proper subdomain from Hostinger. When we create VPS, we get this subdomain along with it, which we can use to access our OpenClaw. Now the first step is to install Caddy. Let's copy all of these commands, go back and run. Make sure you are in root and not inside the sandbox while running these commands. It's complete. Next, you need to find your Hostinger subdomain, which is this one over here at the top, and replace that subdomain over here in this command. So in my case, it looks like this. I have replaced the subdomain over here. Then I'll copy this entire code, go back to VPS, paste and run. Next, we need to restart Caddy. Let's copy this command, go back, paste and run. All right, so now Caddy is set up and this is where we are now. So this is the browser where we will try to access our OpenClaw instance. The traffic will flow to Hostinger firewall. From there, it will reach Hostinger VPS. On VPS, we have Caddy running. So we will hit the traffic on port number 443 and it will forward it to localhost 18789. And this is where OpenClaw gateway is running. So OpenShell will forward the traffic to the OpenClaw gateway. Now let's access the chat interface. To do that, first of all, we need to execute these two commands. We need these so that our OpenShell starts forwarding the traffic received from Caddy to OpenClaw gateway on this port. So let's copy these two commands, go back, paste and run. Actually, the status is showing dead because we have installed Caddy and we need to restart our sandbox. So we need to run NemoClaw connect command first. Then we can exit from here. And now let's copy these two commands, go back and run. And now you can see that the status is running. All right, so this is done. Now we want to allow our domain in the OpenClaw gateway. So first we need to switch to our sandbox. Let me clear this up. And now let's get into the sandbox. Then copy second command, go back and run it here. Oh wait. So actually we need to replace this subdomain with our Hostinger subdomain. So this is the command and this is my subdomain. This is what we need to replace here. Now let's copy this, go back and paste. And then we can exit from sandbox. All right, so now we should be able to access our OpenClaw on this subdomain. You can copy this subdomain, open a new tab and open it, and you will start seeing this dashboard. All right, so now we need to connect to OpenClaw. We need to go to overview and enter the gateway token over here. I'll enter the token and click on connect. And now we are successfully connected. Let's start a new session. Let's send a hi message and it is working fine. Let's ask which model are you using? And it's using Nvidia Nemotron. Now let's switch this model to OpenAI or Claude. To do that, we have the instructions in our next section. And first of all, we need to be present in our VPS host and not inside the sandbox. And then we need to export our API keys. So if you want to set up Anthropic API key, this is what you need to do. If you want to set up OpenAI API key, this is what you need to run. So right now I'll set up OpenAI API key. Let me clear this up. Paste the export command over here. Next, we need to run this command. This will create a new OpenShell provider. And now if we list all the providers, we will see Nvidia and OpenAI. Next step is pointing the inference.local at Anthropic. So what does it mean? So if we look at the config of our OpenClaw, let's switch to raw mode. And here in the models list, you will see that we have only Nvidia in the list. And here the base URL is inference.local v1. So we need to tell OpenShell's privacy router to use Anthropic or OpenAI provider and a specific model that we provide here. So let's run this command. So I want to set inference for OpenAI. If we scroll down, there is an example for OpenAI. So switching between Claude and OpenAI. So I'll copy the command for OpenAI, go back, paste. In fact, I want to go ahead with 5.1 and I'll run the command over here. And now this is set up. Now we can run OpenShell inference get to see if everything is set up correctly. And now our gateway inference is pointing at OpenAI prod. So this is done. Now the next step is adding providers to OpenClaw config inside the sandbox. Basically what it means is we need to add models over here in this list of providers so that we can give that model as a primary model to this agent. So we can make those changes directly in the config, or we can simply just execute this script. So first we need to switch into NemoClaw. Let's go back, run the command, and now we are inside the sandbox. Next, we'll copy this entire script, go back, paste, and run. And we are done. Now once this is done, we need to restart our OpenClaw gateway. So let's copy this command and it will restart it. And make sure you're inside the sandbox while running it. Alright, so this is done. Now if we switch to our OpenClaw UI, refresh the page, switch to raw mode, and scroll down under models, you'll start seeing Anthropic and OpenAI config. And our agent is currently pointing to OpenAI GPT 4.1. And actually, let me switch GPT 4.1 to GPT 5.1. Click on apply. And now if we go back to chat and ask which model is it using now, it's using GPT 5.1. And there it is, your own private AI assistant running on your server and secured by NemoClaw. So let's recap what we just built. So we have got OpenClaw, the AI agent running inside a NemoClaw sandbox on a Hostinger VPS. Caddy is serving it over the HTTPS so you can access it from any browser. All the API keys are stored securely outside the sandbox using OpenShell's provider system. And Telegram is already whitelisted in the security policy and it's ready to connect. So you can ask your agent how to connect to Telegram and it will help you to do that. What we have set up today is the foundation. The AI is running, but OpenShell's policies are still pretty minimal right now. And the way NemoClaw works is it denies all the actions, all the calls by default. And you have to enable those in OpenShell configs. So if you want to connect to other services like Gmail, WhatsApp, etc., you need to explicitly add those in the security policy first. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to configure those policies, how to connect other channels, and how to use OpenShell's live dashboard to see exactly what your AI agent is doing in real time. You can find this entire setup doc in my free school community. The link is in the description. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. If you have any questions about any step, feel free to comment on the video or in the school community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.